Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and welcome to Deep Web Browsing episode number 80. Ladies and gentlemen, 80 episodes into the series, and just in the last last two episodes, we really dug into something called Freenet. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to be here for a little bit. It's a nice departure from Tor. But as always, I really don't know what we're going to be seeing this week, aside from going on to a totally different anonymized network, or anonymized, or whatever you want to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just the part of the week where we can chill, relax, and browse the part of the internet that's a little too dank for regular viewing, ladies and gentlemen. With this intro out of the way and Deep Web number 80 kicking off, ladies and gentlemen, a long way into it, let's see what our very first website is. So the first website we've got on our list is Hybrid, a game from Matthew, C++, hosted on Philippe Tromor's site. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I have shown this to you all before, but ladies and gentlemen, here we have a game called Hybrid, and as far as I can tell you, just scrolling down the page, I am already fucking massively confused. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big motherfucking page, alright? So we got a lot of information to really sift through, but I'm only going to read the top real parts of it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a video game. This is the RPG that's about 2.1 megabytes long. If you were to store a copy of it, where only reality is my incomplete RPG, when it will be complete at much later. And it's RPG mechanics. I don't think English is sort of the strong selling point of this website, but then again, that's all fine. You know, we have different... I can probably tell by the name Philippe Tromor, there's probably some French stuff going on here, so that's completely excused. I never accept one, but even that they managed to leave out the worst bits. This is rule number 551, by the way. What the fuck? By the way, that logo up there, the whole hybrid, I feel like I've shown this before. Oh my fucking god. But anyways, blah, 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 blah. Hear of any news of any crimes committed by USA by the American news media. Alright, so you never hear of any crimes committed, probably. I mean, I don't think they want to put themselves on blast, unless I research it through Google and watch the History Channel. Man, watch the History Channel? Are they even fucking accurate anymore? Which, even that they imply it, but never directly state it, else fear of reprisal from the Pentagon has happened to CNN for a decade after Gulf War I. Most current example would be Iraqis indirectly telling the USA you can have our oil, but stop bombing us. As well as the internal religious and cultural strife between the three different ethnic groups, same as in Yugoslavia, where it was about mineral rights by USA companies rather than about oil, allowing USA to legitimize and legalize through UN the illegal aggression against the non-threatening nation by USA, which the USA feeds on. The old tactic of divide and conquer they learned from Britain, which divided Iraq and Kuwait, which resulted in the Gulf War I and II, which is manifested in the so-called free elections, which legitimized USA aggression of taking over a sovereign country for its oil. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue into this, why the fuck is it every time I come across any kind of game like this, any game, it almost has to do with something really sinister about the world today. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot of picking on America or some shit going on. Yeah, and whatever. I'm not going to turn... Please don't turn this into a political battlefield below. We don't need that here. Right? Please, it's a Sunday relaxing moment, not a moment for somebody to get on a soapbox. But it's never like... I never come across a Mario clone. I mean, there was one time we came across a Deep Web Sonic game, but I never come across like some lemming shit, you know? It's always got to be something involving the USA and mass conspiracies and warfare and Iraqi chemical weapons. It's like, come on, man. Can we kill off the depressing shit? I don't go on the... Well, fuck, can we kill the depressing stuff? God damn it. It's like every fucking time. It's like, oh man, some weird shit happened. It's like, Jesus. Alright, the amount of negative energy it takes to control society and or escape laws of society is proportional to the amount of energy needed to bypass laws of physics. And what is commonly understood as a light barrier, escaping it allows FTL. What the fuck? Time and dimensional travel by excessively manipulating negative energy, which in this second example, I don't mean psychology, but in manner of accumulating science TL, in similar way excess greed would accumulate wealth, power, resource, and fame, which where USA presidents have a nasty habit of having ulterior evil motives for their so-called good deeds. Some form of imperialism. Alright, man. Alright, that paragraph, right fucking there, covered everything from faster than light travel to the greed of U.S. presidents to psychology and negative. Like, what the fuck was it? What am I reading here? I really, like, there's sometimes when I come across it, I try to understand. Okay, here we go. There are 5 parts to this rule, based on my rule number 3 and rule number 6. Zero End is a human, usually a male human. At least in this RPG hybrid, since women are too complicated to make in my RPG, since creating women in my RPG requires politically incorrect math. Oh shit, what does that mean? Politically incorrect math? What are you trying to say there, buddy? But to return to what I was saying, see, now I know I've never shown you the site before because I would remember a line like that, let me tell you. But to return to what I was saying before I digress, is as follows. Although I'm using the XY end for champions heroes to illustrate a point that being 0 ought to be for a human, usually a male human, in the RPG hybrid, the variable Y, which in champions heroes meant to define LS in terms of end, at some fraction that of default LS, which at C# depends on the character, better to use C2 since it will give greater... I'm done. I can't. What the fuck am I reading right now, dude? I really... Like, my brain is melting trying to read this. And, you know, it's not like... This is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it fucking goes on and on and on. Like, we mentioned Space Godzilla at one point. I just saw that. Now they're mentioning Rule 469. If the DC planet Krypton was not a future version of DC Earth, then you can use the following equation to figure out the distance of the planet from DC Earth. Why? Like, what? This isn't a game anymore. This is a mindfuck, is what it is. I don't know what's going on. Am I actually... But can I download this RPG somewhere? Please tell me I can fucking download the RPG. But you keep going on, and it just does not fucking end, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, from what we read in the beginning, this is a work in progress. I'm going to go to Mirror and see exactly what's up over here. Oh, not an archive, unfortunately. Ooh, get us something. Not an archive, what? Come on, I'm completely connected to the network. It shouldn't be doing this at all. Can I refresh the page? Yeah, well, it's refreshing. Huh. Okay, here we go. JDR Talk and Hybrid. Oh, wait, we might be able to download Hybrid. There we go. Oh, it just takes us to the main page. Ooh, the site's a little unhealthy. So basically, we just saw there in Freenet was basically how it works is that it kind of finds like pieces of the site, collects them together, and like if it has enough redundancies, it creates the site for you. Unfortunately, we cannot get a download of Hybrid. I don't even think Hybrid is a real fucking game. I think we're getting totally trolled right now. I don't think Hybrid is real. But ladies and gentlemen, sometimes, like, I'll be honest. When we were on tour the last few weeks, I was getting really fucking agitated because we were seeing a lot of, like, Hitman shit, you know what I mean? And, like, the really average, bare-bones crap. But ever since I went on to Freenet, I don't know if it's, like, going into a totally new, like, pond, you know what I mean? Or totally new, like, environment. But, ladies and gentlemen, I am more mindfucked than I've ever been when I've been on tour. I swear I've seen this site before. I really feel like I have. But then again, it sort of fits into that whole classic 90s website mold kind of feel. But that was Hybrid, an RPG apparently. Version 0.21, it's still in development as far as I can tell. Now, I don't know where Hybrid is right now. Frankly, I don't think I really care enough to dig deeper into this. My mind is already fucked as it is. And what a great way to start off our Freenet episodes when your mind is fucked, ladies and gentlemen. I think I have a little bit of a headache brewing. Let's go to another site. Oh, this is one. Are you targeted? Oh, am I targeted, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see this. An orientation and survival guide for targets of covert state-sanctioned terrorism. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of sites that you'll come across onto these onto these networks are sites that are very, how should I say, tinfoil hattish, you know? Like, they really... A lot of people here really care about if the NSA or the FBI is targeting them, listening. Like, if they have a party van outside their house... Me, personally, I'm not really into being worried about targeted or some shit, but, you know, I always like reading the material because, frankly, it's interesting seeing just what people come up with. So they have a billboard that's saying Big Brother is watching you, electronic harassment equals torture. Oh, does it now? All right, let's see. Are you targeted is an orientation and survival guide. All right. The website is talking about operations that are remarkably similar to known CIA torture methods. Oh man, I love it whenever we get the CIA mentioned, including sensory disorientation and the appearance of self-inflicted harm. Now that's actually pretty true. For those of you who don't know what the CIA is, it's the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States. They do a lot of covert. They're actually the premier, I think, agency in the U.S. that does covert operations, and they had the whole thing with MK Ultra, but like it's not far-fetched for you to believe that they do things like torture or some crazy shit. It most definitely happens. While it's never confirmed, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to fucking confirm they do torturous acts. But the thing is, it happens. So that part we can all completely agree on over there. That it kind of happens. It happens with any country, really. The operations amount to imprisonment, and in many cases, a virtual death sentence. Oh, virtual. The methods include, but are not limited to, asserting nearly absolute control over many aspects of the target's life, such as finances, income, which of the target's phone calls get through, where the target lives, what results show up on internet searches, who the target's neighbors are, and more. Who the target's neighbors are, that's fucking weird. Very deceptive psychological operations which have the effect of making ordinary people appear mentally ill if they complain. Brainwashing. There you go. Brainwashing was a major thing. They actually, back when they were doing the MK Ultra stuff, they would use LSD to really, like, fuck with people's heads, right? Like, they would use LSD as a way for not controlling minds, hypnosis, shit like that. I think it was even used to, like, input, like, false suggestion inside, so, like, they could create, like, some weird sleeper cell type shit. The use of non-lethal weapon and or mind-invasive technology is part of a torture protocol. That's very interesting. The apparent recruitment of large numbers of people to participate in the harassment of a single person. So you're telling me the CIA controls internet trolling? Now that's a little bit far-fetched, but if it happens, fuck, man, that is some scary shit. The activities described here can be classified as non-consensual experimentation. But the experimentation looks an awful lot like torture. The rationale behind the selection of experimentees will, in my opinion, turn out to be a much bigger scandal than the experimentation itself. At least some of the people singled out for this treatment, for example, are witnesses of high-level corruption. It seems there are at most a few thousand people being targeted in the way the website talks about. However, the number of people impacted by these operations is much larger. The implications of the methods used are troubling, so it would be unwise to assume that the methods and clandestine technology described on this website are only used in the ways being talked about here. So basically what they're saying is, even if they're talking about something, it's most likely far worse than what they're even imagining, which is fucking scary. But let's go check out the orientation section, ladies and gentlemen, and let's see if we're being targeted or anybody else is being targeted. I guess we all can use this as a way to really understand if we're being targeted by the feds or the CIA or some weird cartel shit. Again, this is the way Freenet, again, downloads stuff, so they're basically capturing multiple different caches, like redundancies, and like figuring it out and then like sending it out to you. It's sort of a more efficient way, I guess, so to say. It almost looks a little bit more elegant than Tor. At least it's telling me, unlike Tor, it's doing something, whereas when you're using Tor, it takes fucking forever sometimes for it to even get a response from a webpage. You may have crossed an invisible line, or you might have angered someone who had connections. You may have been singled out because you were an easy victim, or because you had something a powerful person wanted. However it all started, you are now on the receiving end of a political weapon. It's political. Ooh, because it involves the use of shared resources to benefit the politically powerful, and it's a weapon. Because it's used to destroy people. You're facing tactics that seem to be built around law enforcement procedures and the legal system. You have been made aware that large numbers of people can somehow be turned against you. That there's technology which can be used to invisibly torment or spy on you. That's actually pretty true. They had like leaks of the PRISM system that was spying on actual people, like mass surveillance. And that these elements can be combined into a seamless and highly organized campaign of harassment or psychological torture that lasts indefinitely. You're baffled at the seemingly uneconomical use of manpower and technology to harass you. At the same time, you're fully cognizant that the tactics are designed to mimic the symptoms of mental illness. You came to the site looking for answers. No, I came to the site to just explore, but let's see if we can get some answers. What's going on? Now, apparently, I can't talk about any particular case without knowing the details. So this is basically a standard stuff, alright? Targeted individuals aren't crazy people seeking the comfort of an internet echo chamber. The targets I've been talking to are speaking lucidly and coming across as ordinary people in an extraordinary situation. Newly aware targets are independently coming to conferences complaining about the very same symptoms or tactics as everyone else, without having been coached. The source of their torment isn't grassroots. Large numbers of people can't coordinate with each other and keep the secret so long without operating on a need-to-know basis. The need-to-know principle implies central control. That's kind of true. It's not bureaucrats abusing offender lists. Watch lists aren't comprehensive enough to cover an entire countryside, and don't explain sophisticated psychological warfare tactics used by people around the target. It's not corporate-sponsored vigilante gangs. One of the many misleading explanations about the sort of problem targets are facing is that the source of their problems is vigilante gangs made up of anti-government extremists. Oh my god, what am I fucking reading? I've gone to the source and debunked it. And then it's not freelance criminals with their hands on energy weapons or non-lethal weapons. This technology can silently kill anyone, including powerful people. The authorities are interested in protecting themselves from the technology. There is no way the use of the technology is not controlled. And the last is it's not fusion centers. What are fusion centers? While fusion centers are a reason for concern, and may play a role in some targets' harassment campaigns, they aren't the culprit. So what are they really up to? Alright, let's figure this. One can't be sure until a few months have passed, but it does seem like they're not trying to kill you, or they're not very good at it. If they were out to kill you, they would have done it a long time ago. I'm not saying what they're doing is harmless, they are killing you, one day at a time, by stealing your life. What seems clear is that there's a general strategy. They can't get away with murdering you at this time. But through the use of highly focused harassment, they can destroy your reputation. Like, wait a minute. Oh, fuck, dude. They could, plant any bullshit on you and fuck your entire life up. That is true. Or trick you into destroying it yourself. Once your reputation is destroyed, they can get away with practically anything, because nobody will believe your complaints. That's so fucked up. Oh my god. Whew. That's chilling, dude. That's really fucked. It's like that movie Eagle Eye for a second. Fuck. Comparing notes with other targets and gathering information through a series of surveys, I come up with some surprising correlations. 34% of targets reported having a father in the military. 33% reported that they had symptoms suggesting multiple personality disorder, one major cause of which is childhood sexual abuse. 29% reported that they were tested and found to have a high IQ as a child. These are very unusual numbers. Clearly you're targeting smart and harassed people, that's for damn sure. Now, advice for newly aware targets. So if you're a new target, this is the advice for you. The physiology of your brain has been altered by extreme harassment. You need to come in terms with the ways in which your rational mind has been bypassed and deceived. Your fears or angers are driving you to ruin, and you must overcome these emotions. There aren't nearly as many people involved in operations against you as you think there are. Once you understand this and adopt some measures to obtain peace of mind, you can begin a process of recovery, even if the harassment or the problems caused by it don't recede. So, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I've really dug into it, this site is basically used to give people a frame of reference. By the way, it was last updated March 2011, so it's a pretty old site. But ladies and gents, this site in its entirety is designed for people that believe that they are targeted by the government. Now, look, am I going to sit here and tell you it's all bullshit? No, I guarantee you stuff like this happens. But the thing is that, I don't know. I feel like if you were to be targeted, you have to be a pretty important individual. But the thing is that, if you ever feel like you are, maybe this site does explain some of the symptoms occurring to you, if anything. Fuck, my advice would be, if you feel like you are, take it easy, talk to somebody you know very well, and go on from there. But if you wanted a good frame of reference, Are You Targeted is a very important site. So I guess there you go. That's the best information I can give you. But I'm going to back out of this conspiracy theory crap and hopefully head towards something else. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Defcad MEGAPACK. Welcome to Defcad, operated by Defense Distributed. The site is a makeshift response to MakerBot Industries' decision to censor files uploaded in good things at Thingiverse, especially firearms-related files. Now, the files that I'm showing you over here, these are illicit files, I guess you could say, because if you ever played like Watch Dogs 2, that game has printed firearms. 3D printed firearms are slowly becoming a thing, right? There's actually companies out there that are building firearms completely out of 3D printing, and whatever your thoughts on weapons are, whatever they are, that's not the whole point of it. The point is, today I'm showing you a giant pack of files, which is about, let's say, half a gig in size, 400 megabytes. Well, that's not even half a gig. But the files that I'm showing you over here are the Defense Distributed Defcad MEGAPACK. Now, I do have to describe again, even though as many disclaimers I can give, this stuff is illicit. Please don't download and create firearms and shit. That is not don't do it. All right, we do not appreciate it. We don't condone it. But anyways, moving on. You can build firearms using any 3D printer, I guess. Well, you probably need a heavy-duty 3D printer with, good 3D printing tools, obviously, because you're building fucking firearms, right? Firearms typically need the best, whatever you can give in order to get the best product out there. But over here, you can build a 12-gauge flare pistol, 22 compact pistol, electric, single shot, auditor wrist gun, interesting, practice gun, grenades, what the fuck? Basic grenades, F1 Russian ammo. And then you can build a lot of weapons casing, like 919, 918. You can build yourself NATO round casing, 5.56, 44 Magnum casing, pretty cool. And then you can build yourself a fucking plethora assault rifle stuff. So you can build yourself an AK-47 receiver, AR-15 lightning link. Basically what these files are is I believe that they're just CAD files that you can just send to a 3D printer, and as long as you have the materials inside it, it'll print you the whole fucking gun, right? Or at least parts of the guns that you can assemble together and work from there. Because the thing is with 3D printers is that theoretically, yeah, you should be able to print weapons just fine, right? Because the thing is like, because you're basically printing it all the way from the innards, right? So essentially just printing out all the innards of the gun and then like having it set up, you can have a pretty fucking stable firearm out there. And the thing is, it should be built pretty well too, because, you know, it's all computerized. It's all done down to a perfect scale. You know what I mean? Like it's done perfectly well, and essentially you have yourself fucking fair weapon. Here you got yourself pistols, like you got 1911, you got Beretta, you got Glock 17, you can build magazines for it, Glock 22 suppressor, okay. I think magazines is pretty important for someone too. You can build yourself like wow, some of these weapons are pretty old, like Springfields, but then you go all the way down, you have like 12 gauge stuff, right? So the thing is, you can build yourself a lot of different stuff. You can download these files anyways, and you can open them up to see just how in-depth people have made it. But the thing is, 3D firearms printing is a real thing, right? Like, it's slowly becoming a real thing, and 3D printing is basically, it's almost like a good and a bad to everything, right? Is there a good to 3D printing? Yes. Is there a bad to 3D printing? I wouldn't say guns are necessarily good or bad. I mean, if some people want to build themselves self-defense firearms, they have it right here. But the thing is that, oh, get out of here. I don't want to update software. But the thing is, this is the Defcad MEGAPACK, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to show this to you because I haven't really seen this on the Tor side, but I believe it also exists. But this is one of the major things that Freenet has on it, the Defcad MEGAPACK. And you can go over here, you can download these files. They're only like, what, 463 megabytes for all of them? And if provided you have a pretty, you know, if you have a moderate 3D printer, you can actually print yourself a lot of these things. Not that we advise that you do, because I'm sure printing firearms it has to be illicit, right? I mean, owning firearms is illicit. Creating a whole fucking mass amount of them, I don't think the government will take too well to that. And frankly, that's all I can really say. It was probably censored very well for a reason, but you can build yourself a lot of decent stuff. And, you know, while the site looks pretty pedestrian, I guess, but it definitely describes what it is very well. FNFALs, AR-15, some of these weapons, as far as I can tell, are actually, aren't some of these, like, military, like, level grade weapons and shit? Like, stuff that you can only get in the military? Now you can easily download files and print them out. What a world we live in, honestly. Now we can just print ourselves high-end fucking weaponry rather than obtaining it illegally, right? I mean, a lot of people smuggle in shit like this. Now, provided you have the tools, you can just print this shit away. And unfortunately, the scary part is that the tools are so useful for many other things that it'd be so hard to track what somebody's using it necessarily for, right? Until you sort of learn the technology, learn what it is a little bit more, right? Which, you know, I think as time passes, we'll slowly figure it out. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, 3D printed guns. You can easily download yourselves files and go fucking loose. Not that we advise you do. It's illegal. But that being said, I think I've said as much as I really had to on this. Let's go to something else. So we have, ladies and gentlemen, 37 seconds of our dank web video for the week. And it starts off in a very low resolution view of what appears to be someone's hand. And hopefully that's not somebody's body, but ladies and gentlemen, 37 seconds over here. I don't know. It's actually well below our average deep web times, but I'm not going to stick around keeping the intro longer than I have to be. I think we're going to hit play and see exactly what we have uncovered on the danker side of the web. Let's hit play. That's not fucking creepy. Just like some heavy-ass breathing. What the... Oh. That's some... It's a mannequin. What the fuck? Okay. Alright. Things escalated in fucking... Oh my god. What are you gonna do? You're gonna stab the mannequin? Oh, you're gonna end the video before you stab the mannequin. Wow. 37 seconds. Very self-explanatory. Ladies and gentlemen. What was that? What the fuck? Alright, look. I know, like, we sometimes come across ARGs and shit like that, but that was pretty fucking cringy, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, clearly it was like I said, you know, even if these are real, it's fucking weird. If this is fake, it's fucking weird. Because the thing is, it's like you have to actually film this scenario. But what we are witnessing over here is somebody basically groping the shit out of this mannequin, and eventually this person stabs the hell out of it. Now, I don't know if this is some preparatory work. One thing that I will say, you got some clowns and shit up there. So everything over here definitely screams like serial killer-esque. You know, even like, you know, everything here screams issues, you know? But the thing is, it's like, is this fake? Most likely. It's obviously fake. Even the knife, like the knife looks kind of fake too. I don't know why. It looks like it's some plastic dollar store shit to an extent. Don't look sharp at all. But basically we have an individual who feels this thing up, this mannequin, and then proceeds to poke at it with a knife. I don't know the logic behind it, and frankly, in some respects, I don't know if I want to, because it's not like we're coming across aliens or ghosts or some weird ARG where we have like a deep web vlog or something. Here it's just, I swear this video was made for the sake of being all weird and shit. Usually it's like the thing that gets to me with these videos, especially late night, is not like really disturbing fucked up imagery. Here it's just somebody who got their hands on like a mannequin from like a clothing store, and it's like, I'm gonna be fucking edgy. I'm gonna wear gloves. I'm gonna feel this mannequin up. I'm gonna sexually harass it on camera. And then I'm gonna stab it. But not really. I'm gonna cut the whole thing out. So it's like, what? And by the way, it's shot like really low resolution too anyways. It's like something filmed on like a potato. But then, like, the only thing that really is to analyze over here is, like, this dude wears gloves, feels it around. It's kind of fucking weird to begin with. It's like you're feeling the titties of a fucking mannequin. Can't believe I'm saying that. Feeling all the way down the mannequin. It seems like this is being done on a quiet basis. Nobody walks in on this individual seeing, like, what the fuck you doing there? He's about to, like, finger the whole thing. And then he grabs the knife. And then he's about to stab. But the knife, it almost looks fucking... Actually, no, the knife doesn't look fake to me. It kind of does. Hold on. Wait a minute. I don't know if that's like a style of it, but it just seems so plasticky, like dollar store crappy kind of stuff. But, you know, you got the video over here. This person's about to stab this mannequin. But unfortunately, we don't get to see any mannequin homicide because the video just cuts itself out. I don't know what to say to that. Frankly... I don't really know what I just witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, except I just witnessed a mannequin about to get killed. Is it spooky? Yeah, I think it is. But I think that's all the analysis I can really give it. It's kind of cringy, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. But that was our Deep Web video of the week. I swear I must have expected a whole lot more of this when I first saw the initial frame, you know? But then as soon as I moved into it, I think around the halfway mark, I completely died inside. But let's get out of here and delve into something else. Is black goo the original form of programmable matter? Ladies and gentlemen, I think 2 episodes ago, we covered black goo, which was one of the, I think we covered on the same website where we had the Final Fantasy VII conspiracy theory, which was, fuck, that was interesting to read anyways. I've actually been back to that website. Fucking good shit. But here we have Lisa's Humane Life, End Times, Harbinger of Truth, standing firm in the last human age of a genocidal darkness. Oh my god, dude. Why is it that all this shit has to be so fucking negative, man? Genocidal? Come on now. Corporate whistleblower and workers' comp claimant whose claims expose misdeeds after the murder of my husband by the U.S. military-industrial complex. Wow, that's fucked up, dude. Holy shit. Alright, well, let's read what Lisa says. Lisa's apparently a fucking whistleblower on this shit. Fuck, I really feel bad for her husband dying. Fuck. That's so sad. But here we got black goo. Which, I really don't understand the whole black goo stuff. I always thought, like, people were like, it was on the Gulf Coast. I was like, wasn't that where the whole BP oil spill happened, right? Of course there's going to be black goo in the ground. That shit wasn't even cleaned up properly anyways. But here we go. Programmable matter is a term originally coined in 1991 by Toffoli and Margolis to refer to an ensemble of fine-grained computing elements arranged in space. Their paper describes a computing substrate that is composed of fine-grained compute nodes distributed through space which communicate using only nearest neighbors interactions. In this context, programmable matter refers to compute models similar to cellular automata and lattice gas automata. The CAM8 architecture is an example hardware realization of this model. This function is also known as digital referenced areas, DRA, in some form of self-replicating machine science. Now, of course, they mentioned the Falkland War, which, if you don't know what the Falkland War is, it was between Argentina and I believe Britain. And the thing is that the Falklands War is sort of interesting because it's like a lot of conspiracy theories have like head up to it. It's not just black goo now that I'm hearing. I think the Falkland War actually had like alien mentioning in it too, which is really weird as to why. But the thing is that it's an interesting war that I don't think gets covered too often. But, you know, a lot of people really like digging conspiracy theories out of its asshole. But, you know, photo courtesy of Pinterest to steel helmets abandoned in Argentine armed forces who surrendered at Goose Green to British Falkland Task Force troops during the Falkland War. Fuck, you know, photos like that are just chilling to fucking see anyways. If you look to the side, they have underground bases and they satanic breakaway state. I actually want to click on that. Whenever somebody mentions satanic shit with conspiracies, I'm always intrigued. But here they have black goo, which a lot of people say that the black goo, even if it's a thing, which apparently is a programmable like DNA substance from what we last read, is something that's a demonic living thing that gets rid of humanity. I don't really know. Here are dead and dying forest trees secreting black goo. And again, black goo is like that whole thing with the new Kojima game, Death Stranding, right? Which is fucking weird. Self-organizing programmable matter based on cellular structure. Background programmable matter, one of the emerging technologies, is a matter which can change its physical properties, shape, density, moduli, conductivity, optical properties, based upon user inputs or autonomous sensing. In 2004, the DARPA Information Science and Technology Group, ISAT, examined the potential of programmable matter and laid out a multi-year program for the research and development of this new type of matter. There are many different types of programmable matter: liquid crystals and complex fluids, metamaterials, shape-changing molecules, self-reconfiguring modular robots, configuring nanoscale robots, synthetic tissues. Interesting. All right, let's go down into the gray goo scenario. The gray goo scenario is an existential risk constituted by the runaway exponential reproduction of self-replicating nanobots. And that's one of the things I hear about the black goo too, is that it's just like nanobots, but it's all by like aliens and shit that has like all of the DNA ever needed inside it. It's so weird. The nanobots might convert organic material into more nanobots, wiping out life directly. Or the nanobots might convert some inorganic material into so many nanobots that life is suffocated under a pervasive and inescapable blanket of gray goo. I suppose this might also be called the gray ooze scenario. But that would eliminate the quasi-poetic alliteration. The reader will recognize a classic Sorcerer's Apprentice theme in the gray goo scenario. Gray goo is not only a potential threat to terrestrial life, it could be a threat to the whole of the universe. So what, is it like the Flood from Halo? That's actually, you know, if you think about it, like the way they're describing, this thing essentially just consumes everything. That's fucking weird. A swarm of self-replicating nanobots loose in the cosmos, able to cover the distances between stars, and possibly also the distances between galaxies and galactic clusters, could smother the whole universe under suffocating gray goo. So we're just going to become a giant chunk of gray goo. Hopefully I won't be alive enough to ever witness the whole world, the whole universe turn into gray goo. While this gray goo could be ordinary baryonic matter, and not something exotic, it would not radiate energy like stars. So it would not be easy to detect at a distance except for its mass. So apparently, gray goo is something that will kill us entirely. This is a gray goo. The first assemblers created to... So basically what it does is it's like programming new units, because it's basically programmable matter, right? So it's like programming into new units. And it's almost a thing with like nanotechnology too. It's like, hypothetically, when it comes to like weaponry, which is like, it's fucked up to say, but when things are discovered, a lot of like when things are advanced, right? Like when you're discovering new technologies like atomic technology, most of the research into it goes into the military. We all know this, right? Like most of it goes towards, they basically lead the world in technology. Whatever the military gets, we get later. So with nanotechnology, the thing is that if nanotechnology is a thing, theoretically, the fact that it can fuck with things on a fucking nano level basis, right, where they can like rearrange molecules and shit. The way this programmable goo is that it's more dangerous than like a nuclear weapon, because a nuclear weapon would just like fall on you, would blow you the fuck up. Hydrogen, it would just like suck up all the oxygen, kill you right there. But with nanomachines or nanobots or whatever the fuck they want to, or gray goo, for example, it would basically just eat up everything to the point where nothing is inhabitable over there. If you just sprayed out nanobots, they would just eat away at people, converting them into something else, killing them effectively, while keeping, and this is a scary thing, it could take over, like, the thing with nukes is if you throw a nuke somewhere, that place is inhabitable for a while, especially with nukes nowadays. But the thing is with nanobots, the thing is you spray that shit out there, and they eat away at everything. The place is still habitable, right? You can program the bots to do whatever the fuck you want. Of course, that's all theoretical science and computer mumbo-jumbo right there. But the thing is the whole Grey Goose scenario, as spooky as it is, could be a thing. And it could probably be worked on right now. Unfortunately, the thing is that a lot of the stuff is done by the military first for very nefarious, offensive purposes. It's fucked up. But here we go, DARPA's Programmable Matter, which DARPA, if you don't know, for those of you who aren't familiar, they're a weapons research, basically they're a government weapons research facility in the U.S. A more exotic formulation of the idea would be involved gray goo fashioned from computronium, programmable matter, and specifically computer that could intelligently mask its presence and remain dark under any and all circumstances, meaning that a super civilization that had grown to encompass an entire galaxy could effectively remain invisible and therefore undetected. That was also mentioned, is the gray goo would be a creation by a super civilization, the Apex race. And then you go down over here, you have the Google quantum computer. A lot of companies have created massive supercomputers now. It is said that there are several black goo computers which run the New World Order, and the entity behind this is actually an artificial intelligence. So now we've stepped into the Patriots Metal Gear level bullshit, and I think this is where I sort of end the whole analysis of the whole black goo. That's fucking weird. What the fuck is this? These are mummies? Chinchorro mummies. Strange occurrences surrounding the phenomenon of black goo. This shit, that shit's weird, dude. That is weird as fuck. Oh my god. What am I looking at? There's a crater in Australia. Now I think we're like really pulling at shit. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we sort of end over here. This is the black goo whole scenario. You go over here. These are deep underground bases and the satanic breakaway state. I think these are videos actually that Lisa is creating. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we witnessed enough conspiracies for now. I feel like we're entering demonic reptilian. Oh my god. So like when you start mentioning reptiles and demons and shit, it kind of makes your whole makes this whole thing just laughable in a way. But that's black goo. This is the second time we've seen the whole black goo scenario. I don't really know if black goo is the spookiest thing in the world, but it definitely is interesting, let me tell you that. But I think we've looked at enough conspiracy theories. I think we've definitely seen as much as we can. Lisa, we might come back to your site because, after all, she is the harbinger of truth, standing firm in the last human age of a genocidal darkness. Once again, condolences for her husband's loss to the U.S. military-industrial complex, and let us go to something else. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Digital, a love story, a computer mystery romance set 5 minutes into the future of 1988. The future of 1988, man. I'm saying that while I'm sitting in fucking 2017 and shit. Holy crap. I can guarantee at least one of the following is a real feature. Discover a this is one of these could be a real feature. Discover a vast conspiracy. Again, conspiracies lurking on the internet. Save the world by exploiting a buffer overflow. Get away with telephone fraud and hack the Gibson. For those of you who don't know Hack the Gibson, there's an old movie called Hackers. Very, very cringy, but I totally advise that people watch it. It's pretty interesting movie. Which one? You'll just have to dial in and see. Welcome to the 20th century. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a full-on game on the deep web once again. Digital, a love story. And you can actually download the game for Windows, Mac, or Linux. A pre-NaNoWren release. Digital is released under Creative Commons license, blah, blah, blah. But basically, ladies and gentlemen, we've come across a video game. Yes, we've come across a video game for, I think, all of us to really witness and totally breathe into. But we have Digital, a love story. A computer mystery romance set 5 minutes into the future of 1988. Now, if you look at it, it says, message from Mr. Wong. Hey, Annie, so you have your computer set up. I thought for Mr. Robertson's kid, I'd throw in a little something extra. There's a dialer for your modem attached to a message. If you plug it into the phone line, you can use it to dial BBSs. Just make sure not to run up your dad's phone bill with long-distance calls, okay? So apparently, it's a full-on game. It's more of a visual novel. It's a love story, mystery romance, but you get to uncover conspiracies, and that's the kind of thing that I like to see on the dark web. You know, this isn't something that's totally inherently negative. It's a love story. And why the fuck does it have to exist on Freenet? I don't really know. I don't understand why this exists on Freenet. I don't know what's to be censored out of it. But ladies and gentlemen, we apparently have a full-on game full story for us to uncover. And I guess if you want me to play it, I can sort of look into it and play it for y'all too. It's probably going to be sort of similar to the cyberpunk waifu bartending, which, if more people want that, I'll definitely play the shit out of that game. But this is Digital A Love Story. Not much more to see over here, except that it's another game that we've uncovered on the danker side of the internet. Let's go check something else out. So this is The Egg by Andy Weir. You were on your way home when you died. It was a car accident, nothing particularly remarkable, but fatal nonetheless. You left behind a wife and 2 children. It was a painful death. A painless death. The EMTs tried their best to save you, but to no avail. Your body was so utterly shattered, you were better off, trust me. And that's when you met me. What happened, you asked? Where am I? You died, I said, matter-of-factly. No point in mincing words. There was a truck and it was skidding. Yup, I died. Don't feel bad about it. Everyone dies. You looked around. There was nothingness, just you and me. What is this place, you asked? Is this the afterlife? More or less. Are you God, you asked? Yup, I'm God. My kids, my wife. What about them? Will they be all right? That's what I like to see, I said. You just died and your main concern is for your family. That's good stuff right there. You looked at me with fascination to you. I don't look like God. I just look like some man, or possibly a woman, some vague authority figure, maybe, more of a grammar school teacher than the Almighty. Don't worry, I said, they'll be fine. Your kids will remember you as perfect in every way. They didn't have time to grow contempt for you. Your wife will cry on the outside, but will be secretly revealed. To be fair, your marriage was falling apart. Ouch! God, that's a fucking kick in the nuts. If it's any consolation, she'll feel very guilty for being relieved. Wow. So what happens? Did I go to heaven or hell or something? And you said neither. You'll be reincarnated. And then you'll say, yeah, the Hindus were right. All religions are right in their own way, I said. Walk with me. You followed along as we strode through the void. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular, I said. It's just nice to walk while we talk. So what's the point then, you asked? When I get reborn, I'll just be a blank slate again, right? A baby. So all my experiences and everything I did in this life won't matter. And it says, not so, I said. I think we're the viewpoint of God. You have within you all the knowledge and experiences of your past life. You just don't remember them right now. I stopped walking and took you by the shoulders. Your soul is more magnificent, beautiful, and gigantic than you can possibly imagine. A human mind can only contain a tiny fraction of what you are. It's like sticking your finger in a glass of water to see if it's hot or cold. You put a tiny part of yourself into the vessel, and when you bring it back out, you've gained all the experiences it had. You've been in a human for the last 48 years. So you haven't stretched out yet and felt the rest of your immense consciousness. If we hung out here for long enough, you'd start remembering everything. But there's no point in doing that between each life. How many times have I been reincarnated then? Lots and lots. This time you'll be a Chinese peasant girl in 540 AD. And then it's like, what? You're sending me back in time. And you're like, well, I guess technically. Time as you know it only exists in your universe. Things are different where I come from. And where do you come from? I come from somewhere else, and there are others like me. I know you'll want to know what it's like there, but honestly you wouldn't understand. And you're like, oh, well, being let down. But if I get reincarnated to other places in time, I would have interacted with myself at some point. Sure, it happens all the time. And with both lives only aware of their own lifespan, you don't even know it's happening. So what's the point of it all? Seriously, I asked? Seriously asking me the meaning of life, isn't that a little stereotypical? Well, it's a reasonable question, you persisted. I looked you in the eye. The meaning of life, the reason I made this whole universe, is for you to mature. You mean mankind? You want us to mature? No, just you. I made this whole universe for you. Oh, you're a little special snowflake, ain't you? With each new life, you grow and mature and become a larger and greater intellect. Just me? What about everyone else? There's no one else, I said. In this universe, it's just you and me. You stare blankly at me, but all the people on Earth. All you. Different incarnations of you. And you say, I'm everyone? Now you're getting it, I said with a congratulatory slap on the back. I'm every human being who ever lived. Or who will ever live, yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln. And you're John Wilkes Booth, too. And Hitler. And you're the millions he killed. You Jesus. And you're everyone who followed him. You fall silent. Every time you victimize someone, you were victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. Every happy and sad moment ever experienced by any human was and is always going to be experienced by you. And it's like, why? Why do you do all this? Because someday you'll become like me. Because that's what you are. You're one of my kind. You're my kid. Whoa! You mean I'm a god? No, not yet. You're a fetus still growing. Once you've lived every human life through all lifetime, you'll have grown enough to be born. So the whole universe, you said, is just an egg, I answered. Now it's time for you to move on to your next life. And I sent you on your way. Wow. That was a weird story. So basically, it seems like the world is just one giant fucking egg. And apparently by that logic, there's one human being that experiences everyone else's lives, and until they get all the lives lived out, which is, trust me, a whole fucking lot of them, they become a god themselves, ladies and gentlemen. I think we found a more light-hearted, Bloodborne-esque story, you know what I mean? If you ever played Bloodborne and got all the way to the end of it, the special ending, so to say. I guess that's basically what the egg is kind of about. Now, why the hell would this exist on the dark web? I think most likely it exists because whenever you mention things like God or religiousness, there's parts of the world where, like, they really don't want you talking about it. So the thing is, it's like they leave it to sites like this. But that was an interesting read, you know, the egg. You're on your way home when you die. That was a very, very thought-provoking read right over there. I don't know if I necessarily believe in it, but you know what? I'm satisfied to know that I did, in fact, read it. Again, why it exists on the danker web, kind of interesting. I don't think there was anything fucking politically damning in there. But quite a fair ways away from the standard conspiracies and the black goos and all that stuff that we witnessed before. So I'm kind of pleasant we read that, you know. It's a very interesting deep web episode, I'll say, whenever we switch to Freenet. Let's go to something else. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our deep web video for the week. That was episode number 80, and that was another Freenet episode entirely. And I think, as far as Freenet goes, this is definitely the more mind-fuckier episodes that I've witnessed on the deep web browsing series. Before we were on tour towards the end of it, honestly, we were really looking at, like, hitman sites or, like, terrorist shit or something stupid like that. And it just got so repetitive almost to a point where I think the last, like, 3 episodes on it was like, really, we're kind of uncovering the same sort of stuff. But my entire time on Freenet so far, I found 2 games this week. I found a plethora of other random weird shit anyways, to the point where it's just like, you know, it's just left me more confused. I've uncovered more conspiracies, interesting conspiracies, a place where it tells us how to know if we're being tracked, and one of the more cringier deep web videos ever, one that's trying way too fucking hard to be spooky. But as far as my entire experience went, I think episode number 80 is great. I think Freenet is a great way for us to really revive the series and keep it going on a more fresh tone. But let me know what you think about it. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. This has been Deep Web Browsing, episode number 80. I am Mudahar, and I am out.